Hello, I'm Jessica Alba.
I'm Molly Surya.
We'll be breaking down the training that went into my fight scenes and trigger warning. It took about 2 months of me just doing like conditioning and getting myself up to speed with the action and choreography and all of that. Every day I would wake up going right into the gym, doing my workout and then doing the choreography and just getting comfortable with doing hand-to-hand combat. It's a skill, and I was a little rusty. I did like using the dagger because it was almost like another appendage. It was like an extension of me. Yes. And then the machete is just like a fun, interesting, badass weapon to use. And because it was an Indonesian machete, I actually could use it in one hand. It wasn't so heavy.
Yes. We installed the idea of the knife very early on. I think
pretty much day one, I was like, okay, this is real, okay.
Yeah. It kind of like evolved during script writing, and then it kind of grows into this machete fighting in the end.
Well, they just threw it all at me, to be honest. The hardware store was interesting because I really got to utilize random items that were within arm's reach. It was also just like, I haven't seen that before. And so it felt very kind of like inventive. And also just the texture of it. Like we were in a real hardware store. It like smelled like bird feed and horse feed and, you know, it was like dried corn and hay everywhere, salt licks. It was wild. Ultimately, when you see it all put together on screen, it was worth it. Rehearsal's done?
Let's go.
Are we really doing a movie?
Let's go.
When you're working with a real professional team like this, it's very safe, very planned out.
The trainers train Jessica in a couple of moves that will be basically the basic, you know, like the 5 ballet positions. As an analogy, it kind of like pretty quick.
I picked it up,
Yeah, and she picked it up like very quickly.
Yeah. Probably the best team in the business that I've seen, just because they really come at it. Like they wouldn't even come to the table with even proposing a fight sequence until they had a final script that they could work from, because they build all the fight choreography from the character and the motivation of the character. The things that could go wrong, they anticipate, and they make sure that you watch out for those things. I've always loved action movies, and I would say what I was missing the most as a young woman watching action movies was I didn't see myself in the cell now. I feel like in this genre, you primarily have women play the damsel in distress.
What's up, damsel in distress?
I was developing this as an executive producer. I was thrilled that I got to have a hand in everything from being able to bring on a female director, have a female writer to infuse some of these more feminine elements that I wanted Parker to have. It really is a different take on what you would normally see in the action genre, and I think it's really kick-ass. The hardest part about training was making sure that while I'm tired and still going about my day, staying true to where Parker is emotionally in the story, because she's at different levels and different times based off of, you know, what sequence we were shooting. And so just making sure that that emotion is still coming through and all of the action is still being motivated by the character's emotion. And it isn't just, you know, going through a dance sequence or a choreography. And it can be exhausting because it's physically taxing, but then also it can be emotionally taxing. There was one kill I did that was very satisfying in a hallway of a cave with that machete.
And I love how you carry it like a yoga mat.
Yeah, I carried it with I had like a harness.
No, you hate it so much because it just gets in the way of your movie.
Just a little domestic terrorism.
A favorite of mine is the one in the burning bar in the burning house. Parker just wanted to go upstairs and save some stuff from her dad. That was the motivation. It's something about the burning house, the burning memories. In a way, it's a little poetic, and I think that kind of propels her into another stage of the fight, basically.
Yeah, another level of rage.
Yes, exactly, another level of rage, and I just love that.
That they just took everything from her. See me in Trigger Warning only on Netflix.